Okay,
It's not
looks
sharp.
like it's a couple minutes after 5.
Uh-oh.
Will the meeting come to order, please? Has everybody had a chance to look at the agenda? And is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay. And we welcome all the guests. Have you had a chance to check out the minutes of the previous meeting? And if so, is there a motion for the approval of the minutes?
I move to approve the minutes. I'll second.
Are you, you're not through with the financial?
No, I'm still looking for this.
Okay. Do we have any committee reports?
No committees met this month.
Okay.
We really should take a vote on each resolution, just officially approve it.
Pardon me?
We really should take a vote on each motion to approve it after a second.
Well, that's right. I forgot to have everybody vote, didn't I? I'm glad we have an attorney here.
It doesn't take,
That's one.
It's one.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
three marks and I'm gone?
Excuse me.
Okay.
Doing well.
I need a vote on the approval of the agenda. Everybody in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? No? Okay, and I welcome the guests, and we need to vote on the minutes of the previous meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? And committee reports. And apparently there are no committee reports. So, Randy?
Okay. As far as a programming snapshot, we have transitioned from summer reading program to fall programming. Today we hosted Chamber Coffee and we introduced our fall program guide, which you guys can find at the circulation desk. There are a lot of things going on this month. The book sale, the library book sale that's hosted by the Friends of the Library is going to be next week. It will start on Tuesday evening with a sneak peek at 6 o'clock. There's a $2 admission to get first chance at the books. There's going to be treats and coffee. So we hope that that kind of goes over well and maybe gets the word out a little bit about the book fair or the book sale.
That's Wednesday?
It's Tuesday night.
Tuesday night?
Mhm.
Okay.
And then book sale will be Wednesday through Saturday during regular library hours. Computer classes start up in October, and we do have 2 Speakers Bureau presentations coming up in October and November. The Friends of the Library are hosting those 2 programs too. They have paid Humanities Iowa to bring those 2 speakers. So those should be good. One of them is on Nancy Drew, presented by Dr. Barbara Lounsbury, and the other is Dr. Rudy Daniels presenting about trains across Iowa. So there's kind of a little bit of one for maybe the women and one for the men. So we hope that we have a good turnout for those things. I'm trying to think what else is coming up on that program guide. You guys can pick one up if you need to. Also at Chamber Coffee this morning we talked about the strategic plan, and the goldenrod copy that you all picked up on the table over there is basically just an abbreviated snapshot and a timeline of what the planning committee worked on in the fall of last year. And I just put it into a timeline format so that you could see what we'll be doing during each, during each quarter of the year for the next 3 years. So that will be, I think, a handy tool for us as for the board and also for me, so I can kind of make sure we get some of those things done. I think there are a lot of things we've done already for this half of the year that we've started working on. Some of the things that you see on this list are going to be partnerships with other organizations. So we haven't started working on those things yet, but we will be soon. You can kind of read through there and look at some of those things. If anybody has any questions about that, please let me know. Chamber Coffee was pretty nice today. We had 35 people here to hear kind of about what the strategic plan was all about. And let's see what else. In the past month, we had a great turnout for the Bonnie Mungenberg brought the middle school English students to the library, and almost all of them got a library card. They've been checking out books. I think they're coming again tomorrow, so they'll bring their books back that they checked out. I think we had 129 kids through here 2 weeks ago, which was nice. We gave them a tour of the library, showed them where our young adult books were, where some of the juvenile books were, because some of them might read both. Some adults read both, so we just kind of showed them where those things were at. We showed them how to use the OPAC catalog. So it was a really good day. It was nice so that they came and they could see what we offer. And I think that they thought that it was kind of cool that we offered ebooks and things like that. So maybe some of them will use that service. Let's see. Friends of the Library met this month, and they are going to be discussing hosting another quilt silent auction as a winter fundraiser again this year. So they will be meeting this month again to kind of iron out those details. Instead of just quilts this year, they may do all kinds of crafts, open it up for other crafters. So that might be kind of nice. The Iowa Library Services, which used to be State Library of Iowa, but they have changed their name now. So now they encompass both the State Library and the Library Service areas. They have redrawn their district lines. And so this little map is kind of the new district. We remain in Northwest District, but Carroll went down to the Southwest District. So they did kind of cut some of those out. They did retain 2 staff members there. They did not rehire Jean Chesterman, who was kind of the technology person in our district, which we're going to really miss her a lot. But they did rehire Bonnie McEwen, which you all know from different trainings. And Janie, she's kind of the other... she's Bonnie's partner in crime, is what we call her. But they are actually going to host Lakeside Learning again this year, so I don't know if you guys want to see that or not. Lakeside Learning is their fall CE learning event that they hold at Buena Vista University, so I'll be attending that next week, and I'll be helping Bonnie present on different technology tools for libraries, so that'll be kind of interesting. Another thing that I wanted to talk about tonight was and I don't know if any of you followed this at all, but during the legislative session this past year, Iowa Workforce Development made this bold statement that since they knew their offices were going to be closing, that libraries would be able to take up the slack and they did that without asking the state library or other library organizations how they felt about that. So, we've been hearing things from the state library. They're trying to work with them and they're trying to not make it such a big deal. But all of the library personnel are all saying, wait a second, we're already too busy. We don't have enough staff to devote someone full-time to helping people come in and fill out job applications. What's this all about? But I think that they have really handled it well in that they piloted the project. They call it Iowa Workforce Development Access Point. So a library can become an access point. And basically what their role is that since we have computers here, they aren't giving us any computers, but we'll install software on all of our public access computers, which would be the access point for people to come in and use it. And it basically is a software program that links to their database of potential jobs. It has different tools that job seekers can use. It doesn't take the place of them signing up for benefits with Iowa Workforce Development. They actually have to go there still, wherever their regional offices are located, or call them or do all that over the phone. I don't know how they do it, but they still have to do that with Iowa Workforce Development. We don't have any part in that. They will, and I kind of want to go talk to the Denison Library because they were a pilot library for this project. Apparently, librarians really like it a lot. It's something that they think it makes their jobs easier. This is what we're hearing from other libraries, is that now that they have this tool, it's, people, and now, as it is right now, people come in and they ask us, hey, I need help filling out this application, can you sit down and help me? And we're kind of like, yeah, I don't want to ever tell people no, because I think it's a good service that we can provide. But it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to sit down and help them either set up an email account or fill out a job application or whatever it is they need to do. So with this, with the Access Point software, librarians can simply say, okay, we can take them to a computer and say, this is how you log in, this is how you set up your profile, here's an instruction sheet, and here's a phone number that you can call if you need help. So we won't be the ones providing the step-by-step help. They can call Iowa Workforce Development and get that. So it sounds like it might be better. It might be something that is a better tool for us instead of sitting down and having to help somebody look for a job just from scratch. So the state library is holding their town meetings next week in conjunction with Lakeside Learning, so I'm going to go and kind of get more information. And I have talked to Iowa Workforce Development, and the lady that I talked to kind of explained to me how unfortunate it's been that it's, some of it's gone down the way it has, but they really are interested in preserving what services that they can and doing it where it doesn't impact our staff and our staff time. So I'll be getting more information about it, but I think that based on what I've heard and who I've talked to, I think that we probably would go ahead and become an access point. I think it might be easier for us to help people that need job help, and I think it's more authoritative. It seems like it's, instead of us just helping somebody, with that Iowa Workforce Development name behind it, they know that it's not, I guess it's, I don't know if you'd say it's more credible, but, doing an official job search for them. I wouldn't feel comfortable giving somebody my personal information at a library, but some people are. I mean, some people have no problem giving me their social security number, and yeah. So I think it might be better, but we'll see. They are supposed to come and install software for us on September 23rd. And she said, if you, talk to people and you don't want to do it, just call me back and we won't do it. So I don't know how the board feels about it, but I'm willing to give it a shot and see if it will help people out. If it doesn't, if it does seem like it's impacting staff time, we can always say we're going to take it off our computers and not participate. So.
How many people would you say on an average month would come in and ask for help filling out the forms?
Right now, it's probably about 5 or 6, which I think is pretty high for a small community. But that doesn't include people that come in that need help doing a resume and that need help. That might be okay. It depends on what the job. When there are job postings, it seems like we inevitably get several people during that couple of weeks that need to come in and apply for that job. We also get people that come in and ask for, okay, I'm applying for this job and I need to know something about Excel. So then they ask us, what do I need to know about Excel? So we have a couple of books we can check out to them, and I tell them about our computer classes, and for some people I've sat down with them and given them a little tutorial too. But again, it takes a lot of time. And Iowa Workforce Development says if you get people that come in and ask things like that, we have lots of resources that they can use too. So refer them to us. Over the phone, or get them on the access point and they can take a tutorial there. So I think it could be better.
Where is the closest?
I don't know where they've remained open. It's either Carroll or Storm Lake. But I could be, they did? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how far they'd have to drive now.
Is Denison open?
I don't know. I just know Storm Lake closed. It was on the list.
Fort Dodge, do they have one in Fort Dodge?
They would have one at Fort Dodge.
I'm sure, maybe that's the closest now. Maybe they closed Carroll too. But
I think they did.
I think it's good for our community too. If we are an access point, I think it's good for Sac City that people know where they can, that they can come here and we can do that. So, so that's kind of one of the newer developments. We also had our wireless router replaced this month. It was going out and our connection was bad, and it's made a big difference. Our signal is stronger. Our wireless signal is way stronger, and aside from this afternoon, it's been down actually all afternoon, but it's not our fault. Mediacom's been down in the area, so every time that happens, people get so upset, but it's not our fault. some other things that I wanted to ask about. Marie Ramstead sent a letter. We have that storage room that we rent up at the hotel, and she is indicating that she's not going to do that anymore, so I need to go up there and remove our stuff from that room. And I didn't put this in the, she sent us the bill for $30 for the year, but I think, instead of paying it, I was just going to go and say, hey, can I just take that stuff out now, and we just won't renew it for this year.
What do we have up there?
We may have to pay a prorated amount, though, because it's through June. Or it was from June 8th, 2011. But I'll ask her if we can just take it out and then pay a prorated
Why are
amount.
we
There's not
storing
much up there. There's empty boxes. Last time I was up there was like a year and a half ago. There's a lot of empty boxes. There's actually the tiles for the restrooms and the computer room and the staff workroom are up there. So I'll have to go get those.
Like extras?
Yep. But I think maybe two of us, maybe on a Friday, could go up and empty it and recycle stuff and get it emptied out. But
Is there a basement to this building?
no, we don't have any storage here. But I haven't ever been up there in in 3 years. I've been up there once. So it's not stuff that I think we couldn't find a place for. We could put the tiles here, and I think there were two other things that we could store here.
I don't think you'd want to store tile up there for one thing, because it gets so blazingly hot in the summertime.
Cold in the
because
winter.
You're above the insulation.
It's at the top floor, I think, that storage room.
Yeah.
I think it's on the top floor. A press release ran in the paper last month. I don't know if you guys saw it, but it was about our accreditation, passing the accreditation. So that was good that we got that in there. I think we have had, just as far as statistics are concerned, we have had a lot of Hispanic people come to the library. Seems like more and more are moving into the community. I don't know if anybody has noticed that, but we have a lot of people come to the library now. So at the schools maybe notice, yeah. And I think some of them have asked for Spanish titles, and we have none. We have, well, I say that we have maybe 2 or 3. So I was hoping that, and this is something that I was going to ask the Friends about and possibly use part of our budget for, but to create a core collection of Spanish titles for children and adults. And I know that I can talk to Misty Gray and Storm Lake about that because they have a large population of Spanish speakers. So I don't know if anybody has any suggestions about that, but I think it's something that we should do just because we're getting a lot more people that are asking for those, or asking for Spanish titles, and maybe have a special place for them altogether instead of having to hunt for them when people come in.
What kind of books would you?
Well,
For adults, everybody here would write down their 3 most favorite books, and there wouldn't be any 3 alike. Any one.
I was thinking possibly like maybe nonfiction titles about Mexican heritage or Mexican history or something like that. I think this month, actually, the middle of the month to the next month is Hispanic Heritage Month. So possibly some titles like that. Maybe some popular fiction, like classics, some classic popular fiction, both in Spanish for children and for adults. That's why I need to talk to Misty Gray and Storm Lake, because they really have a lot of,
Yeah.
and I know that they've done a good job of catering to.
Or ask people when they come in.
Or ask them
Having
when
more
they come
people
in.
come in, ask them what they're looking for,
Yeah.
specifically so that you can get an idea what they might check out. Because if they're not really looking for history and you have history, then that doesn't do us
Yeah.
any good.
I was also thinking maybe citizenship material, because I know the citizenship exam, they sell guides that are
That would be
bilingual.
more
That would be a good
appropriate.
Mhm.
Books that teach them how to read English.
Yeah, maybe some.
Is it adults or children that are asking?
It's the adults, and
Most
some.
of the kids.
Most of the kids are.
Speak English.
Yep, most of the
Right,
kids are
I think they
bilingual.
would-
The parents don't.
A lot of the kids are translating for parents too when they come in. They're translating. So I wouldn't think I would buy too many children's books. I think it would be geared more towards older young adult and adult Spanish titles. So I don't know that it'll be a lot, but possibly the book fair, the proceeds from the book fair we could use for that purpose. So I was going to talk to the friends about that. We do need, for the book fair, we do need a cashier. Their sign-up is over there. We need a cashier for Thursday morning and for the sneak peek if anyone is interested. So if you would like to sign up, you can do that. Another thing,
Can I make a
Sure.
comment? Before we leave the Spanish-speaking people,
Yep.
my wife Kathy works a lot with English language learner programs through Prairie Link City. See if she has
that'd be great.
anything that could shake with us.
that would be great. I also thought about having possibly Tammy Vine's Spanish classes translate some stuff for us too. Some library brochures that we have that we could, that talk about our programs and our services. Maybe the kids could do a project and do some translating for us. So I just think we've just noticed it within the past, since January, it seems like there are a lot more kids that are coming in and they're with their parents that are Spanish speaking. So I think we need to address that and we need to provide things for them because they're asking for it. They're asking for some of things in Spanish. So other than that, that's all I really had because there are two things under new business that we were going to talk about. So.
Does that, excuse me, have any of you ever gone to that, I don't know what to call it, resale store, I guess, in Storm Lake? It's called SOS.
Yes.
I went up there with my daughter a while back, and I bought like $80 worth of books on CDs for $20. And I bought 5 books, I think, for $4. And they've got just racks of books. And I'm wondering if they would have Spanish language. All of the items are donated. There's no resale back. And geez, it's really nice, clean. I was really amazed. I don't usually go to those places, but I remember we were looking for something in particular, so we went in there, and I didn't plan on buying anything. Neither did Ann. She found some clothes, she found some books. I got these CDs. So it's a place that might have
Okay.
Spanish language books. And if any of you plan to go to Storm Lake, you ought to look in there because it's a nice store. And,
It's nice and clean and well organized.
yes, it really is.
Where's it located?
Oh, I don't know, they moved. What, a year or so ago. I don't know.
Do you know where the Methodist Church is?
Vaguely.
Is that
It's
Four
east
Corners?
of Lake
Yeah.
Street and south of the main.
It's south of the main street going east and west. I don't remember what that street name is. But if you go down to, what is it, Lake Street that runs through the middle of town?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, go south over the railroad tracks
And then
and then go east. Great big building, and it's got a great big sign on it, SOS. And, I just think,
So you go towards the college?
no,
I think it stands for Save Our School.
yeah, I asked them how it worked there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I said, what's SOS? Save Our Schools. It's connected with St. Mary's.
Oh, okay. But I was really, really pleased with what I saw there. So if any of you are going up, look for Spanish language books.
Okay, and you're through with your report?
Yeah.
Does that have to be voted on? No. Okay. We have some business, no old business. However, we have some new business. Room for the DVD shelving.
I don't know if anybody saw.
Back up.
Oh, sorry.
attach the financial.
Yeah, I'm done with the
Oh,
financial
okay.
report, and I'll make a motion. I move to approve it.
Is there a second to that motion?
I'll
Second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Say aye. All opposed? Yes.
Oh, no, take your vote.
Opposed? Nay.
I've got a question about the director's report. Is it okay to ask one? You said in here that you're planning on having a community resource and services. They'll have information about a wide variety of programs, services, events, and activities. What are the, will you be soliciting organizations for their event calendars, or are you planning on just having them submit them to you voluntarily without your asking them for it?
On the other side, on the timeline, we have that listed as something that we're going to start doing January to June 2012. And we're just going to put it up on our website and put our library stuff on there and send invitations to people to add things. You know, like...
To
I know-
create their own Google Calendar, so it would go on automatically, or what?
Well, either or, because I know like the ESAC County schools, they have one, and you can you know, when you sign up for Google Calendar, you can view other calendars, other public calendars. And so ESAC County has it set up that it's a public calendar, so you can just, when you open up your calendar, you can see theirs too. You can, you know, superimpose them, I think. Or maybe you can just view their calendar. Like I said at Chamber Coffee, well, I don't know if I said this at Chamber Coffee this morning, but the timeline that we've created and all of these activities are ideally what we'd like to do. I don't know if we'll get to all of them or if we'll, you know, they will be successful in any way, but I think it's a good template for meeting those service responses. So we'll see.
You gotta have a map, otherwise
Yeah.
you don't know anything.
Yeah.
Okay. The DVD shelving.
I don't know if you guys saw it when you came in, but we have a new DVD shelving unit over there. It's like a zigzag, and it's really neat. And it's nice because it's wooden, and so it blends in with the rest of the library. It doesn't look like you're at a video store, which is what we're trying to avoid. So the problem that we have, though, is that it's kind of smushed up against the table over there. And so I know we've talked about this before, about getting rid of one of those wooden tables out there, and I know I hate to do it because I know they were original tables that were at the Carnegie Library, but we're just so smushed on space. And if you guys look at them, I don't know if you can see it from here, but we've got it pushed up against the table so you can't walk all the way around it. It'd be nice if you could walk all the way around it, I think, although the spinners turn, so it could be against a wall and you could just spin them. I don't know if the board would agree to, there's one table that's splitting down the middle in the small meeting room, and that would be the one that I think we would try to put somewhere else. I mean, I don't know if the board would agree to sell it. I think we'd have to. It's city property, so it would have to be sold. I don't know. I don't know what everybody thinks about that. Jerry, it took you guys a long time to refinish all those. And it is kind of a piece of the old library that we have.
Yeah, it is, but it's not the only piece.
We have 4 of those tables.
Yeah, all the chairs, so. No, it's probably lived a long and useful life.
I mean, it probably could be repaired in some way, but as far as space, we're just out of space. And our collection, our DVD collection is growing. We got a huge donation from Gwen's son, and it doubled our DVD collection. And so we have this new thing to display them, and it's just hard to walk around. You know, you can't walk around it, and it's just kind of all squished over there. So we were hoping to get rid of the table in the small room and take the one that's right beside the DVD tower and move it back into that small room. So it would just be making more room, basically.
You'll probably have to do it on a bid basis.
I'll have to find out what the process is because I don't know what it is about selling items over a certain amount of money. Like for the book sale, we have this new rule that, well, it's not a new rule, but the Friends of the Library have to purchase the books from the library to make that a legal transaction, or else they couldn't. I mean, they would be selling library property illegally unless that transaction's made. So They are purchasing the books for a certain amount of money, and then they're free to sell them and do whatever they want with them. So I don't know how it would work with furniture, but I'll have to find out if you guys approve that that could be sold.
Let's just look into it and see what options.
Get more information.
are available, yeah.
Okay.
Because, you know, if it's really a piece of history, maybe the museum, or maybe there's someplace else.
I thought about the museum, maybe if they needed a table for one of
Yeah,
their,
and I don't know if they do.
I don't either.
I
Okay.
can ask Wilma. That's good signs.
Let me tell you a little story about library property. Down in Creston, Iowa, the Phillips family built a library down there, you know, Phillips Oil Company. And some years back, the city decided they wanted to tear down that Phillips library, which created a huge uproar. In the meantime, they moved all the stuff out and rented a building downtown and then cut up all the bookshelves and decided to have a surplus property sale at auction. My brother-in-law and sister were at that auction, and at that auction, they purchased 2 large Indian pottery bowls, and for some $12. And if you watch the first set of Antiques Roadshow, my brother-in-law's on there with those bowls, which were valued at $1,700 a piece. And the gal really chewed out, so to speak, the library board that they would dispose of property in such a callous manner and get such a pittance for pieces of history. And that's kind of one of the problems with it, kind of ad hoc disposal of things. I think we'd want to be very careful about getting rid of original property of the Carnegie Library.
We have first edition books in the back room that we've looked on Amazon, and there, you know, the resale value is pretty high on some of those. So we're like, when we weed books, those all immediately go to the back room, and I don't know what we'll ever do with them other than have them in a rare book area, but
Certainly support
They do have
keeping
some
them in
value.
the rare book area. You know, some things just can't be replaced once you've gotten rid of them. I realize it's only one table, but you know, I'm thinking like museum rather than just selling it.
Well, to follow up on this, in case you're not aware, I spoke to Kevin Murray on the street farm one day, and I asked him about how's the library coming. He was the president of the
Foundation.
the board or the foundation or whatever. And he said, God, it's ready to go, it's beautiful. And we don't have any furniture. And I said, well, what do you mean you don't have any furniture? We don't have enough money to buy new furniture. What's the matter with the old? It's old. The edges are all kind of chewed up, and the legs on the chairs are kind of wobbly. And I said, God, those are beautiful old oak quarter-sawn tables. Well, you know, they're not much good anymore. So I asked a few men, and probably 8 or 9 men showed up, and we bought 2 baby wading pools, and we set tables and the chairs in these, and we used stripper, and we stripped everything, and got it down to bare wood, run a router around the edge so that the edge is nice and smooth, knocked the chairs apart where we could, put new glue on, and everybody was just having a really good time down there. And I took them up to Dave Cook's, Omaha. Would you let me spray these chairs? Nope. But we'll spray them for you. So I left them, they sprayed them, just turned out like you wouldn't believe. They're beautiful. And so that's kind of why we have, you know, a little bit of ourselves in that. And we saved, I'm sure we saved the library quite a bit of money by moving these older things into this library until they could accumulate the newer furniture that they needed. So if it has evolved into a place of what do we do with it, then you have to find a place as to what do you do with it. I don't think any of the people that worked on those would have any problem whatsoever of you putting it up for sale or doing something like that, because we all know that it's lived its life. And somebody will get it, and it will just go on. Whether they use it for a table in their shop and use to paint on, that's fine. That's still there, still kicking. So
I think the wooden tables, they add a lot to the library, and I think it's, people come in and they comment all the time about how beautiful the library is and how, like, how, I don't know, it just feels, it's comfortable.
Yeah.
It's not sterile like a lot of new library buildings that are being built with this modern modular furniture and all this fancy stuff. They always talk about how they like the plants, they like the wooden furniture, the wooden cabinet, the wooden shelving units, because new libraries all have metal shelving units, and it's, you know, they kind of echo when you're banging around on them. So the wooden tables, they love the wooden, the little drawers for the children. They love those. I mean, everybody that comes here loves those. So I wouldn't ever get rid of all of those tables, but I think one of them, just for making our DVD area, you know, making it kind of its own area, I think that would be a good idea. But we still have 3 more, so, and all the chairs. And the only other thing about the chairs and the table height is that they're too close. And I don't know if there's a way that we could bump them up, the tables up a little, so that people could get their knees under them. And I don't know if people were just shorter. Or, but you just can't, they're just not comfortable. You can't get your feet under them. But if they could be bumped up, I think they're beautiful. I think they should, you know.
well, look at that.
Or maybe we should, you know, talk about different types of chairs. Or maybe the chairs we have could be cut down a little. I don't know.
That might have to be a combination of each. You know, you could cut an inch off of one, raise the other one, the inch, you got 2 inches. That's
That'd be perfect.
probably plenty.
I would think, you know, maybe some attractive blocks or something underneath the
Under the
tables.
table.
They'd probably have to be stable in case you want to use the table.
Yeah,
I'll get some more information.
we'll work on that.
Okay.
Okay, so you want this tabled then till next month? And the other new business is the strategic plan
And
calendar.
we've talked about that, I think, enough. I just wanted to point out that I had, and if anybody would like a copy of the actual strategic plan, I have it in my office. It's just big and huge and well, has lots of dates on it. And this is just the condensed, the Reader's Digest version.
Okay. Okay, is there anything else that anybody would like to bring up?
I think there was some discussion about next month, how that might work and if we have enough people for quorum, because it's October 6th is our meeting, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, it's Porktoberfest. I don't know if that, how many people that impacts.
Oh,
We could move it to Wednesday, the 5th. If anybody could do it that night. I do have to have claims to Sandy by the 7th, by Friday, the 7th. So we probably need to move it up rather than to Friday,
Ann and I wouldn't be able to make it.
the 5th.
Would someone like to make that a motion to have our monthly meeting in October on Wednesday, October 5th at 5 o'clock.
How many can't make it? Says the
On the 6th or the 5th?
5th,
5th, Wednesday.
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 I know I can't make the 6th, and I don't think I can make the 5th either. But I don't know.
I can make either one.
Yeah, I can too. It doesn't make any difference to me.
And you say you cannot?
So we got two.
That would be 2, and there are 2 people that aren't here.
You said Ann
And
couldn't,
couldn't on the Wednesday.
so 3 can't.
Oh, 3 can't.
So maybe you want to leave it on
Maybe
Thursday.
we should just leave it alone.
Okay.
And we were doing this because of the pork tote,
Mhm.
whatever that is, pork tote fest.
Well, if you want to go to that,
Good grief. What do they do? They start at 5, don't they?
yeah, but you can go down there after the meeting. It's
After the
still-
meeting.
Maybe want a meeting at 4:30 or something. Or meeting
I'm gonna-
earlier.
I'm going to put it down
People
at
go
5
down.
o'clock on the 6th.
Okay, 5 o'clock, library,
And this is,
6.
that's Thursday.
Yep.
Okay. So 5 o'clock on Thursday.
And just one other comment, I'll be working out of town on Thursdays and usually don't get back until about 7 or 7:30. And, so don't take that to mean that I'm not interested in the library. So if there's anything that, pertains to the library and, with me being the liaison with the city council, be sure and, bring those concerns to you. And I'll check with Brandy periodically to see what's going on, pay attention to the minutes and the monthly
Fine.
reports.
Thanks for having us.
And I might sometime be able to switch Thursday for Wednesday too, so what, we usually meet, what, Thursday of the
The
month?
first Thursday.
First Thursday.
Unless it's the
Okay.
1st, and then it would be the following Thursday.
Okay.
Okay, is there anything else?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second? Okay. Meeting adjourned.
Okay.
And thank you, Earl.